Major General Bilal Singh Ji will address us. After 2 days of deliberations, most difficult task to be able to still keep you engaged. Respected Swami Vigneshwarananda Ji, Dr. Sanyal, Dr. Balasubramaniam, other senior monks of the Ramakrishna Order, and dear friends, let me start by saying Jai Hind! Jai Hind! Jai Hind! Right. 2 days and you have really not only proved one P but all 3 Ps: purity, patience and perseverance. Otherwise you wouldn't have been here by this time of the day. I represent a small organization known as National Cadet Corps. It has trained about 60 million people so far and is engaging about 14 lakh children right now. And I've chosen it as a passion to make a simple statement that we will, out of this organization, create from the youth that we engage regional, national and global leaders. For the last 65 years that this organization has been being, we have been carrying out training in a certain way, but recently we undertook a analysis, and when we undertook that analysis I carried out some kind of study, and what I found was that the number of studies undertaken the world over, 67% studies were undertaken only for making more money and more profit, and less than 17% studies were made or undertaken for development of the youth. And that is where my concern lies, and that is the cause from which I have started my new journey, if I may call, of trying to find out as to how are we going to create better leaders from the youth tomorrow. Whatever we are seeing today world over as a source of pain or discomfort actually stems from one particular aspect. In my view, that is, we did not take care of our youth at a particular point in time. Had we followed sincerely, religiously, the kind of teaching Swami Vivekananda came out with, much earlier we would not have seen the kind of suffering, pain and difficulty that we are seeing today. And if we don't do it today, we are bound to see more difficult times, greater pain and greater suffering. The only people who can do it, the only people who can bring about the change is the youth, and they have to be empowered today. They have to be nurtured today. And to that extent, I must say that most of you are very lucky that people like respected Abdul Kalam Ji and a number of people who come and spoken to you, they've shared their concern, they've shared their interest in you, in developing you, in empowering you. That is the concern, at least amongst a few people, which is there today. And I'm very happy to see that people from 24 countries and more so from India are here today on this very important youth conference, International Youth Conference. I'm very sure a very more International Youth Leadership Conference will follow from here. And since I am on this concluding session, I must take not more than 5 minutes to share with you the findings of my study that I have done to engage my trainees, the youth, so that we are able to convert them, transform them into regional, national and global leaders. The first aspect that I address is character. I will not name countries, but you all know that one of the countries lost 3 of its premiers only on this issue. Another country lost 1 of its ministers. Large number of countries are losing many people on this issue of lack of character. This remains one of the most important concerns and priority one in case the youth has to emerge a stronger youth, a more capable youth, and the youth which can really transform the world and change it the way they dream about it. And this is enshrined in the teaching of Vivekananda when he says purity. This remains the first most fundamental issue that should be in your minds always and every time. The second issue, I am not going to sort of elaborate many things because I have a very limited time with me. The second issue is leadership. World over today we find difficulty in finding leaders of the requisite quality and in requisite numbers. Until and unless we are able to generate the requisite quality leaders and requisite numbers, we will not be able to carry forward the various programs and missions that people have in their minds. The third aspect is sensitivity. Today, large number of us have become insensitive. Insensitive firstly to our own selves. Most of the youth, I feel, are unable to get up in the morning, look after their own physical needs. When they go to the places of instruction, places of knowledge, they are not able to concentrate and are not able to take care of their academic needs. They are insensitive to themselves. Similar insensitivity percolates towards the parents. The elderly, we are now finding an era where large number of old age homes are coming up. Those very people who brought us into this earth, who created us, are now being sent to old age homes. And sensitivity to environment. What happened in Uttarakhand is known to you. What is happening elsewhere in the world is also known to you. This insensitivity is actually taking a toll on a lot of things and creating a lot of heartburn, creating a lot of issues, creating a lot of difficulties and suffering. There is a need to clearly be able to identify the balance between Prakriti and Pragati. That is development and nature. We cannot have development at the cost of nature, and yet we cannot have lack of development. There is a need for synergy. The next issue is networking, convergence. Networking, when we call today, these days, people think that it is only networking on the Facebook. It isn't so. Networking, as you grow, you realize the networking is related to technology, networking is related to ideas, and networking of religion, and ideological networking. That is what Swami Vivekananda also felt when he gave his address to the World Conference of Religions. If we are able to bring about this synergy, this convergence and networking of ideologies, large number of conflicts which are taking place all over the world would not be there. And we would perhaps have a much more happier world where most of us will be able to coexist very happily. And to do all this, one needs to graduate from the earlier concept of discipline to a concept of self-discipline. If we need to do that, in discipline, it was somebody else who wanted you to do a particular thing, and there was a fear of reprisal or punishment in case you did not do that. But self-discipline is that concept which expects you to do the right thing, the right way, and in the right time, which will actually carry you forward, which will actually reduce the amount of pain, suffering and difficulties that you face otherwise. Self-discipline is a much larger concept, a much more higher order thinking that needs to be inculcated amongst the youth. Last issue I'll address is time management. All of you have the same 24 hours. The choice is to spend them on the Facebook or the television, as Dr. Balasubramanian said, or to read, develop your knowledge, experiment, develop your own findings, find your own mission, and carry on with your own journey. The journey towards excellence, journey towards global, universal brotherhood and love. Wish you all the best. Thank you. Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now Mr. Mahendra Jani addresses. Dear Swami, dear youngsters and friends, I know even that light burns out by burning all the time, so I don't know what happens to many brains. But you are still here. Swami Nikuleshwaranji asked me to speak for a couple of minutes. I won't take much long time. Whenever we start something, then we start with Jai, and when we end something, we also end with Jai. So you join with me. Swami Vivekananda loved Mother Thakur so much. So Jai Shri Mahamai ki, Jai Shri Guru Maharaj ji ki, Jai Swami ji Vivekananda ki. Well, in America, we were thinking to have this character building education for youngsters, including our son. We were thinking what name we should give. And we thought to give a name Vivekananda Vidyapith. Because through Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna Holy Mother, we respect all religions. Swami Vivekananda's ideas are so universal, so we will not be narrow-minded. And also I found students who are growing up in America where they question everything. Why do we pray? Why do we hold hands? What is temple? What is God? Many questions that we have not asked our parents. So all teachers have to think, what is the reason? All these books came out later on, why do we? But before there were no books, no